Welcome to Planet X421ZZ, or Planet X for short. You and your competitor have both landed on the planet and want to mine it for the very useful rocks. The great thing about Planet X is that there are about 100 robot miners on the planet. They're what's left of a long-ago colonial mission. Unfortunately, the robots were abandoned and have evolved all sorts of quirks. You have 100 Planet X time units, which is about 600 Earth seconds, to recruit these robots to come work for you. As you'll see, not all robots are good robots, but if you can somehow get all of them, you'll win. The main way to recruit robots is by playing the robot friendship game. This is basically a guess your number game. Each robot is constantly thinking of a number, and the number is based on a pseudo-random number generator. In advance, a robot decides on a deadline for you and your competitor to submit your guesses, and each robot has a different deadline. You and your competitor put your bid in, and the one closest gets the robot. This comes with a couple of caveats. If you guess -1, that means you don't want the robot. If your opponent guesses anything else, they will get the robot. If both of you guess -1, then the robot shuts down and goes to no one. If you tie or are both really close in your guess, so about within 10 units, the robots have another strategy for picking. They'll look at their social network. The robots have a complex social network, and it's also popularity based. When a robot can't decide who to work for, they look at their neighbors in the network. They'll see who each of their friends went for and use the weighted average of their in degree to decide who to go work for. For example, this robot has 4 friends, 2 that have declared for Team 1 and 1 for Team 2. Based on the in degree of each, the robot decides to go with Team 2. Now back to our evolved robots. Robots have evolved over time from one ancestor robot. The leaves of this tree are the 100 robots that remain on the planet. The reason this is important is that each robot's pseudo-random number generator is based on their parent or grandparent. It's not an exact match, but it's close. What this means is that robots that are siblings are very correlated, as are a robot and its parents. The further you go, the less correlated the random number generators are. This will be useful because if you're able to get information about one robot's generator, it will help you predict others. The final quirk of the game is that not all robots are equally productive. In fact, some will have negative productivity. They'll make your team worse. What determines their productivity is the combination of parts they have. There are 10 parts that we care about. For example, part 1, which is a kind of sensor, makes the robot more productive the more sensitive it is. Part 2, which is a kind of arm, has 2 models, one that makes the robots more productive and the other makes it less. So in total, a robot's productivity depends on the combination of these parts. Your goal is not to just get all the robots, but to get the productive ones. So how do you figure out the random number generator for each robot or figure out what parts they have? You have a hacker for that. Your hacker will deliver data to you every Planet X time unit. They will be able to tell you things like Robot 5's random number generator will say 23 at time 67, or Robot 4 has model A for their arm. Each time unit, you will get some number of random number generator predictions and some number of part information. You can ask your hacker to be on the lookout for specific robots or parts. That means that there's a greater chance that they'll give you info about the robots or parts that you care about. Your job will be to take this information and use it to figure out what to guess and which robots to try and recruit. At the end, we'll sum up the total productivity of the robots that came to work for you and those that came to work for your opponent, and we'll declare the winner that way. As you can see, there are a number of strategies that you can adopt to win. Each match may be different, so you'll need to adapt.